free, and equal. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
You can't. How do you make a user more apple-friendly? The Flint Apple Club.
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 The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Yeah, like I said, I never have been politically active or wanted to be involved in politics, but I feel, another thing I feel is that Flint doesn't need more career politicians. A lot of my peers that are running in the race are career politicians, and they've been schooled in political science, and but the problem is they've been schooled in the mentality of 1975 or 1985. We're 2010, we've had economic devastation across America, not just Flint, Michigan, that is going to take outside the box thinking that I don't think they're capable of, number one. So I think we need a businessman to come in there and make some changes and with some outside the box thinking. Number two, I think it's just wrong that, again, that people live in fear. I talked to a guy yesterday, he spent $10,000 to put bars on his house so that people won't come in. He's got an alarm system in his house. He said, hey, you know, I know I couldn't sell my house for what it's worth. So it was either move or spend $10,000 for the bars on the windows. And that's wrong. When I want to take the bars off, I want to put the criminals behind bars. So I don't think that there's anyone else capable, quite honestly, that is in the race to doing the job, and that's why I'm here. And basically, I want to do it for the people.
Okay. When you speak as far as jails and prisoners and taking people off the streets and into jails, what is your opinion or your current stance on our jail issue? Did you vote to open up our city jail? Are you interested in reopening the city jail, or would you like to continue to house criminals at Genesee County Jail?
I actually, if the verbiage would have been different on the millage, I would have voted in favor of it. I actually voted against it because there was verbiage in there that said to pay for more administrators. And I think we need to pay for less administrators. And there was nothing in there to pay for more police. And the problem with talking to the sheriff and the Michigan State Police and even the councilman is there's no police to arrest people, so what do you need a city jail open for? If you can't put more police on the street, then you've got no business opening the city jail. We've got 40,000 warrants out there right now that could be people picked up on, but there's no place to house them because there's no police. The other thing with the county jail, it's cheaper, and I've been saying this for months, it is cheaper to house them in Bay City or in Clinton County. We need to be shipping our prisoners elsewhere for $35, $40 a day versus Genesee County for $60 a day. But I would be in favor of opening up our city jail because I think the cost would be down if I were in office and if we had more police on the street in order to arrest these people.
Okay, thank you. How will we be able to make our city more energy efficient during your term and thereafter, trying to be green as they have termed it now? How would you plan on doing that?
Okay, well, and I know we've got a green energy coordinator now. I'm not sure what he's done in the past, other than we've got a big, huge dump site that smells down here. They've dumped leaves. I think we maybe, if we had that position, get someone in there that knows a little bit about green energy.
Okay.
Number one thing that I think we need to do is our vast brownfields we have, like AC Sparkplug, Buick City, Chevy in the Hole. Let's turn those into green fields where, as like up in the Thumb area, if you've ever been to the Thumb, or even out in California, there's a lot of windmills,
Right.
wind turbines. I think you need 7 miles per hour average wind speed, where in
Right.
Flint we got about 11 miles per hour. So those are perfect sites to put up windmills and solar fields. Same thing there.
Okay.
And if we don't sell that energy to Consumers Energy, we could use it for ourselves instead of paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to Consumers Energy. So those are things that are never going to be anything other than vast brownfields. So why not turn them into something positive again? Turn them into green fields, and that's just a start. I know there's a lot of energy inefficiency at City Hall and around town at the other city buildings where, again, people have offered to come in and change out all the fixtures because some of them are use 10 times the energy than
Right.
the new energy efficient items do.
Yeah.
So I think we need to, and they were going to do it for free. So why not embrace all that? And those are things that will also cut down on our general fund and our budgets
Right.
to pay for more police. Did I beat that home enough? More police.
Right. Speaking of our city and the looks of things, when you drive down the street and you see a lot of vacant homes or abandoned buildings, what would you do to improve the overall look of our city? And when people come through our town, we want them to be impressed by the city that we have so much pride in. So what would you suggest that we do with these homes as well as these buildings that are abandoned or just simply worn out and just there because of their owners have left them or other saddening circumstances? What would you suggest we do?
Okay, and I talk to people every day that are just leaving their buildings and they're walking, or
Right.
leaving their house and they're walking. And again, it all goes back to public safety, police and fire. If they're living in fear, their homes have been broken into 3 and 4 times. I had a guy that rented a building from me. He got broken into 3 times in a 10-day time span.
Oh, wow.
Was paying $400 a month rent. He moved. He didn't move out of Genesee County. He just moved to Burton.
Right.
And he said, "Hey, I've got police there. I know it's twice the rent, but my tools aren't getting stolen every 2-3
Right.
days."
Right.
So what we can do there is, again, maybe that's something we're gonna work with the land bank. Once we're a safe city again, we can advertise nationwide to business owners. Hey, we'll work with the land bank. They've got 1,500 homes, about 5,000 properties.
Right.
1,500 of them are homes, so we can say, hey, retirees, move to Flint. We don't have a lot of jobs, but we've got cheap houses or free houses.
Right.
Just move here, bring your guaranteed income, bring your Social Security money, and to help stimulate our economy. In return, we're going to give you a cheap home or a free home. Same thing with business owners. Hey, again, move here. We've got high unemployment. We've got free buildings. Bring your jobs. We want those 2 things. We got cheap property taxes. Those things, I think, will stimulate the economy and will help with that. Also, currently with all the blight, blight enforcement is non-existent and could be a huge revenue producer for the city. I remember back 15 years ago, if I had an eavesdrop hanging down on one of my rental properties, I'd get a ticket for $175.
Right.
Currently, we bailed out these banks back in 2006, and a lot of times they're the absentee landlord.
Right.
So why don't we start fining these banks? If they're not gonna beautify these homes and these buildings, let's start fining them or coming in and charging them to do it for them. So those are some of the things that we need to
Okay.
definitely take advantage of.
Right. The city of Detroit actually offered their police officers free homes, discounted homes in the city of Detroit if they would move back to the city. Is that something that you would suggest for our city as well? Surrounding police officers or anybody that's seeking work or to bring businesses to our area to take these homes that are abandoned or just fixer-upper homes in general. Would you be willing to donate those homes to them if they want to bring money to our city or boost our economy in any type of way? Would that be something that you would be interested in looking into as well?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's good to have, mentors like this in our neighborhoods,
Yeah.
police and fire and school teachers as well.
Right.
Other professionals, I think we make that offer to all of them, because right now they're exiting our city, getting as far away from us as we can.
Right.
And the only people that are gonna be left are the people that can't afford to move. So it's just a double-edged sword, but I think we embrace that and encourage that.
Alrighty. Understanding that we cannot cut our way to prosperity, or nor can we simply just rely on the economy to fix itself. My final question this evening will be how, in general, I don't have to give some specifics because you have given a lot of them, but how do you plan on addressing these issues once you become mayor, if that should be the case?
Initially, when I become the mayor, first thing is to make sure you really have a true balanced budget. I mean, the current administration, the fiscal year starts July 1st, as you know. The current budget that he had put in place was based on the possibility, if we can get these concessions from our police and fire, if we can get more federal grant money or state grant money. That's not a balanced budget. That's like saying, hey, I want to buy this house in Grand Blanc. I can afford the payments as long as I hit the lotto sometime throughout the year. So there has to be reality and transparency. One of the things I want to do, depending on how upside down we are come November 3rd, how much money this administration has misappropriated or squandered, in my eyes, is make sure we have a balanced budget and make sure that we need to start with the cuts at the top, not at the bottom. We do need to cut, but we're never going to stop the bleeding of people moving out of the city until we can make it a safe city again. So we're going to have to start with cuts before we can build it back up again.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you. I've enjoyed our interview very much. And again, viewers, this is Mr. Scott Smith, and he is running for the mayor of Flint. If you've liked what you heard, check his box.
Thank you.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Joe. Steven. Eric, over here. I'll take him right there. Alright, take you. You, right here.
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
How do you make an apple more user-friendly? You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. You can't.
How do you make a user more apple-friendly? The Flint Apple Club.
The Flint Apple Club.
The Flint Apple Club.
The Flint Apple Club.
The Flint Apple Club.